afternoon, good morning, good evening, happy tomorrow. Here we are. Welcome back. It's the 30th of October, the year 2022, and there's been a few changes, and it's nice to see some of you joining us already. The link is on the page in case you want to come in and say hi and ask your own question. But the biggest change so far is that we've changed the name of the group back to the original name that was born 2.5 years ago, the Round Table of Poker. And there is a simple reason we've done that, because we realize there's lots of poker players from all over the place, play all different games, different apps. So this group is for all poker players, no matter what game you play, whether you're on Poker VR or whether you're on Poker Stars or whether you're on Casino Life on the phone. Doesn't matter. It's all for poker players, where we talk about the game that we love, the game that we play. And I hope you can understand the accent. It's me, Shuggy Wuggy. Just in case you've never seen me before, I'm from a little fishing village called Scotland. Well, it's actually a country. So anyway, and what we've been doing for the last 2.5 years, it used to be weekly, but we went a little bit lazy. So it's time to step up the game again and interview some of the players that we play and spend a lot of time with online. And it's predominantly virtual reality. Yes, virtual reality's taken the world by storm, and the poker players are having a ball. If you want to join us, the link is on our Facebook group. Of course, it is the Round Table of Poker. And if you want to comment, then just put your comments in and we can put them up. There we go. We've got Chris saying, did I miss it or has it not started? It's just starting now, Chris. And then we've got Facebook user, hi Shuggy, nice mic. Thank you very much. And Sammy, yeah, Scotland. Thanks, Doc. Yeah. Okay. So it means we are live and you're watching. And now it's time. 22 questions we've made up. All our interviewees get asked the same questions, and they all answer them differently. So let's see how we got on. This is a young lady that I met on Poker Stars. Must have been round about 6 or 7 weeks ago, maybe even longer. And we told her all about the round table. She was interested. She joined it. She got another couple of friends to join it as well. And then I asked her 3 weeks ago, I think it was, if she'd be prepared to take the plunge and go in front of the camera and answer the 22 questions. And of course, she said yes. I'm so irresistible. Anyway, enough of me. And now it's all about our guest. Please welcome, live on the Round Table of Poker, Antishia. Hiya. Hello there.
Hi.
You're looking good, Antishia. Tell
Oh,
everybody where you're from.
I'm from, I live in a town called Danville. It's in the San Francisco Bay Area in California.
Oh,
So,
so it's a far way away from me sat here at the round table. I'm in
mhm.
my house right now. I'm in the west wing of my house. Where are
Oh.
you right now?
I am in kind of my pseudo dining room, office, kind of
Oh,
everything that's, it's like the gathering place of it all. So
okay. Right, okay. Are you ready to take the plunge? Are you ready for the 22 questions?
I'm super excited. I'm super nervous. I'm like,
Don't be nervous.
ah!
Don't be nervous. It's just me and you. But then you could be an internet sensation and it could go viral. There's
Oh,
Sammy saying, I'm
100%.
a big Antishia. Is it Antisha or a tissue? How should I
Oh,
say
I
it?
couldn't even tell you all the variations I get when I enter a table, but it's Antisha.
Antisha. And where is
Antisha.
that name originally from? Is it a foreign name?
No, well, I actually, when I was born, I didn't have a name for a few days. And the story was that my dad had a dream, woke up the next day, that was my name. So I
Ah,
really don't
see.
know if it really means something or anything like that. But yeah,
See. And were you born in California?
I was born and raised.
Okay, right. Okay, we're ready for the 22 questions. Now, don't be afraid because sometimes I might disappear and you just see that. That means you're answering the question on your own. Okay, so don't worry, I'm still here. Sometimes I like to just go,
Don't leave me.
hello. Right, okay, so the question number one's easy. You've already answered it. Your name. But what we want to know is your username when you're playing online. What is your
Yep.
username?
It's Antishia. I'm very fortunate enough to have such a different name that all of my pretty much all of my usernames are my first name, Antishia.
Ah, okay. Have you got any other usernames on the game?
Nope, that's my only one I use.
Okay, Chris is saying PokerStars VR in the house.
Yay!
Coming live in the
Yay, Chris!
house. Okay,
Annabelle, right?
right.
That's my daughter. Ooh.
Oh, is it right? Okay.
Yeah.
We'll get to that in a minute. So location, we've got your exact location, San Francisco. Have you
Yep.
always been in that area?
I've moved around a lot. I lived in Southern California for about 7 or 8 years.
Okay.
I was married at one time, and so my ex-husband was in the military, so we lived in
Okay.
Georgia.
Okay.
I've lived in Las Vegas, all kinds of different places. But pretty much my heart is always in California. Hi,
Ah,
Anna.
I thought there was a song coming on there. You left your heart in San Francisco. No, I left my heart. Uh, actually,
I've
I
left
know that's
San Francisco.
sorry.
I don't know about my heart. No.
All right. So what I did, I left my fart in Annie's disco. That's what I thought the song was. I left my fart in Annie's disco. Right. Okay. Chris is saying, I am Zunt on PokerStars. What's that? Oh, Zunt's his name.
Mhm.
Ah, right. See, we always need this information. Okay. So let's move on. So we want to know what your job is. What do you do when you're not playing poker? What is your vacation?
What do I do? So right now, I've actually had an opportunity to take some time off
Okay.
and spend it with my kids. I've got two beautiful daughters, 11 and 9. And
Okay.
so I've just had an opportunity to do some traveling. My background was in commercial general construction. So pretty much I built buildings for a living here in the Bay Area.
Oh, so
Um,
you're a bricklayer.
well, I'm the kind of the boss in charge of all of everybody.
Ah, right.
Whether
Okay.
it's your carpenters, your electricians, your mechanical,
Right.
your
Okay.
drywall, flooring paint. I was the general, so I managed all
Did
of
you
it.
manage the logistics and make sure people were going to the right place at the right time with the right tools and the right?
Yep,
Yeah,
pretty
I get it.
much. Yeah.
I get
So
it.
I've done
Good.
that. I did that for about 20 years.
All right.
Um,
Okay.
Yeah. Hi,
So,
Jamie. So yeah, I mean, it's just, like I said, I had an opportunity to take some time. And so I said, you know
mhm,
what? Especially with my girls, you know what I mean? With my daughters, spending that time with them now it's just very important to me. So
of
kind of
course,
like
because
savoring the
yeah,
flavor as long as I can.
definitely, if you get time to spend with your family and your lovely daughters, then take it when you can. It's about making memories, Antisha. Yeah, making
100%.
memories. Right. So, hobbies. What do you like doing? What's your hobbies?
Um, I live in poker. I
Could you
love to, I'm
repeat
a
that again? Because I heard something different. What did you say there?
poker, maybe. I don't
Oh,
know. It just
poker, poker. Right. Okay.
sometimes I don't
Right.
know.
Poker. Right. Okay.
It's an on and off thing. No,
Okay.
I've been playing poker since 20 years or so.
Okay.
I played a lot too when I lived in Las Vegas. I worked at the Venetian,
Right.
and
But we'll,
so it
we'll
was
we'll get there. Out with
yeah.
poker. Out with
Scuba
poker.
diving. I'm a scuba diver, so I
Oh.
dive all over the world. And I mean, just I do a lot of diving in like Mexico, Cabo,
Mm.
that kind of area, Cozumel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I heard
so
Cozumel's get really good diving. Is that right? Yeah.
it is. It's really beautiful. Also, I really like Belize.
Oh yeah.
Belize,
Okay.
they have the second largest barrier reef
Right.
outside of the one in Australia, the
Mm-hmm.
Great Barrier Reef, and so it's very untouched. Where the Great
Right.
Barrier Reef is just it just becomes such a tourist and all those kind of
Yeah.
things and the coral bleaching and things like that. So
Have you done Australia, the Great Barrier Reef? Have you
I
done that?
have, yeah. I did a
Wow.
liverboard. Yeah, I did a liverboard. I was it's pretty much you stay on a boat for 3 4 days and
Yeah.
you wake up, you dive. You do your surface time and then you go dive again. And then you do more surface time in between and then you dive again. So it was an amazing experience. It was a bucket list. I had to do it. So
Yeah. So when you were doing that, when did you manage to go to the bar or the nightclub, or was that out the window? It was all about diving.
well, for that trip, because I spent some time in Sydney first, so I did like a week and a half in Sydney, and
Okay.
then went to up to Cairns, and then did the Barrier Reef and things like that. So,
Very
but
good.
yeah, no,
So the
I got my party on. Don't worry.
yeah. So yeah, you're ticking off the bucket list. Now, apart from diving, apart from poker, apart from diving, is there anything else you would spend your quality time
A
doing?
lot of time with my daughters. Like I
Right.
said, they're very important to me. So
Of
whatever we're doing
course.
there, bowling, we're going to the movies, we're just
Yeah.
hanging out.
Just keeping them active.
Um,
And what's their hobbies that you join in with? What do they do?
the girls, well, soccer, a lot of sports, competitive
Yeah.
soccer. So that's kind
Can I
of
just
it takes
correct
up a
you
lot of
there?
time.
Can I just correct you there, Antishia? It's not called soccer. It's called football.
Football,
Just
I know.
yeah, just to let you know. Some of the Americans call it soccer because they've got
I know.
their own kind of football, but that's not football. Okay, so
I am a
right.
huge American football fan, though. Go Raiders, even though we lost today. I
Okay,
want
go Raiders, go Raiders. I
to
don't know the difference, but I know it's a constant argument at the poker tables when you've got the Europeans on with Americans and we pretend football. No, American football is American football. Why do you call it football when you don't even kick the ball? Why do you call it a football when it's not a ball? Balls are round, round. But we'll go. That's another day, right? So tell us a story about VR. How long have you been on the VR for?
I've been on VR since December of 2021, so almost
Okay.
a year now.
Hmm. And
And I originally bought it for my daughters, and then I kind of took the
stole
headset
it from them.
over.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a
it
typical
happened.
story.
I didn't think that I would enjoy it as much as I do. I really enjoy like the social aspect of it,
Yeah,
and it's amazing. I totally love it, and it's just so different from playing on an app on your phone or playing on the computer or stuff like that. So
yeah. I think it's the social side of it. It just really is very addictive and it draws you in.
mhm.
You had the girls had the Quest 2. Mum decided to try it on and ride a roller coaster, and then you just found poker by mistake or accident. Is that what happened?
Yeah, I mean, I knew that there were the two different ones that I knew about, which was the Poker VR and then Poker Stars.
Yeah.
And I still have never tried Poker VR,
Okay.
but decided to give Poker Stars, a shot, and I enjoy it. I really do. I love, like I said, it's just really interesting to me. It's neat. It can be a little bit overwhelming with like they have props in the game and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So it just depends. Sometimes it's
Okay.
a little bit of a sensory overload.
Now, yeah. Before you got the Quest, did you play poker before VR? Tell us a story. Tell us your poker
Oh yeah,
story.
100%. I mean, I grew up playing, cards, poker, that kind of a thing.
Mhm. Okay.
But going to local card rooms, going to casinos, even before I was old enough. Um,
Could you
and
repeat? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. There's no
I don't know
small
what
talk
I
in
didn't
here.
say anything. No, no,
You just
no.
say it as you says. We played cards and then we went. Yeah. What does
I don't
what
know.
what are you trying to tell me? Because I'm from a different planet. I don't know what you're trying to say.
Yeah. So I mean, I lived like I was saying earlier. I lived in Vegas. No, we're not giving it. No. Shh. Shh.
Okay, right.
Uh,
Move on.
I
Right. So
did
you
live in
played poker.
Vegas.
Yeah.
So I would play at the Palms Hotel. The Palm,
Okay.
it's off the strip, and I would play there pretty much almost every day after
Okay.
work, things like that.
And was this
And
cash? Was this cash games
yeah,
and T?
cash games.
Okay.
I don't really play a lot of tournaments. I do sometimes,
Right.
but mostly I play like cash games, things like that.
Yeah.
And with some of the dealers from that casino, we used to go
Yeah.
and hustle tourists down at Fremont Street
Quite
just
right.
because,
Quite
I mean,
right.
hey,
Yeah. Yeah. That's what
why
you do,
not?
isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah,
You've got to do that.
you know.
Yeah.
I was like
Wait.
21 at the time. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
sure, let's go do it.
Yeah. When in Vegas. Yeah.
What happens in Vegas
Yeah. Yeah.
stays in
I'll
Vegas.
tell everybody on. round table of poker. Right.
What happens
Okay.
in the round table stays at the round table.
Yeah. Now, the next question I have, this was mainly set up for the other game, Poker VR,
Mm,
but because Poker Stars, this question doesn't really relate to it. And the question is, what level are you at? Because on
mm,
Poker VR, you get a level. As
mm,
you progress, you go up the levels. So Poker Stars doesn't have that. However, what
mm.
Poker Stars does have, the first level that I've noticed is the G Club. Are you familiar with that?
No, actually, the G Club.
Yeah,
What?
the
I don't know
G
what it is.
Club is once you hit 100 million chips,
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
you get
The
you
Halo.
get lots the halo, you get the
Yep.
lighter, you get all sorts, and you get to visit another room called the gallery. Now, I'm not
Yep.
in that. I've not got enough chips for that. Have you reached that level yet?
I have not. A lot of my friends have,
Yeah,
but I have not got there yet.
yeah. I'm not there yet either. I'm not far off it. And that's why if you see me at the table, my avatar is a little bit crazy. I don't think you've seen my new avatar.
Oh, I
Uh,
haven't seen the new one. No.
well, it's like an Indian woman with
Oh.
an umbrella on my head, and I hate it. But I've definitely wore that one because it's a target for me to get into the G Club. And as soon as I get there, the avatar's changing.
Yeah.
How do you? I'm trying to adapt this question for PokerStars. How do you pick your avatar? What made you decide? What do you go for? Something wacky or something pretty much like yourself?
I do pretty much like myself. My favorite color is purple. And
Okay,
so everything that I have on my shirt is purple. I just got that new dice halo. That's got a little bit of the purple in it. My eyes are purple in the game. Not my hair. My hair is just kind of the brown, the brown look. But for me, I always wear my crown.
right,
And so I have always my crown and my halo. I always have that on. Any kind of like jewelry, because normally I do like to wear like a lot of jewelry in real life and stuff like that. So,
right,
but yeah,
okay.
and it doesn't. I don't change it. And everyone's like, oh, you should put this mask on or this prop or that. And I no, I wear my crown
Yeah.
and I
And
wear it proudly.
yeah, it's a very individual thing, though, isn't it? You do get people that are a bit wacky and putting crazy masks on and crazy outfits. And
Mhm.
there's Chris. He just twigged that he might have played with me. It must have been the avatar he remembers. Because a lot of the time you don't remember the name, you just remember the avatar, and then you look at the name, and say, "Oh yeah, that's you. I remember you."
Even the
Uh,
voices, you know what I mean? It's a lot of people, oh yeah, wait, I think I played with you, and they hear your voice or things
yeah.
like that. So,
Well, there's one voice that we had on the other side. His name was Charlie, and he had the voice of radio. He had a very deep
oh,
voice, yeah. But there's one guy that's got an even better voice on Poker Stars,
mm.
and he's from, I think he stays in California, but he's actually from Qatar in the
Oh
Middle East,
wow.
and his name's Damus. Have you heard
Mm.
him or played with him? Damus.
No, I haven't.
He wears a big head. Oh, what a voice he's got! Wow,
Oh,
it'll blow you away. So look out for that one, Antishia.
yeah.
The moose, Moose, the moose.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
So right, so favorite tables. You're on Poker Stars. That's the only game you play. You've not played the other side. Um,
Mhm.
there's Chris. He's played with them as well. Um, so where do you like playing on Poker Stars?
I normally play. There's the different levels. In regards to the table limits, things like that. I normally play at 100,000 table or the 1 million table.
Right.
100,000 if you're kind of wanting to kind of play around. I have that bankroll to be able to do that. And then million if I want to just start building money. And there's two levels above that, which is the 2.5 and then the uncapped.
Yeah.
But for me, again, it is more of that social aspect of the game, and I want to be able to enjoy it and have fun, and so I don't usually go up any higher than the million, only
Yeah.
because I think it's just
That
I'd
makes
have to be too
sense.
focused, and I'm usually drinking, doing so, having a good
Yeah.
time, chatting it
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, a lot of players say the same thing. They like the social side. And the minute you go up levels above where you really should feel comfortable, it starts to
Hmm.
get a bit more serious and the social side disappears.
Right.
Um, But in saying that, the higher level tables that you spoke about, there is a
Mhm.
social side up there, but it is with players that are comfortable there. Players with
Right.
billions of chips, they'll just
Mhm.
laugh and joke and be social, but we're sitting there like petrified lambs, scared to call or so it's
And I'm
not
ready to
comfortable.
pounce on those players. I'm like, oh, I'll take your chips,
Yeah,
thanks.
yeah. There's Cindy Tapp, one of the originators of the round table. Cindy's from Canada. Hi, Cindy. She's dropped in.
Hi, Cindy.
Yeah.
Hola.
And there's Chris saying he's lost all his chips on the new craps table. He's got to rebuild. Come on, Chris.
Yeah, and that's a
The-
new feature that we have on Poker Stars right now is craps.
yeah, craps. The best thing about that game is the name because it's crap. That's what I think. I think it's crap. I don't understand it. It's a very American game, but some people like it. So good on you.
Yeah.
But I think, do you know, the, the thing about Poker Stars, which I love, um, is there's a lot of rich people in Poker Stars.
Hmm.
When I say rich, I'm talking about their Poker Stars bankroll. Okay. Uh, so they've got rich bankrolls. However, half of that bankroll could have been won by blackjack or roulette or now craps. So
Hmm.
you cannot judge a player by their bankroll in Poker Stars,
Correct.
you know.
Hmm.
Whereas the other game, Poker VR, is
Slots
just
too.
it's just poker, So
Hmm.
it's another way of looking at it.
Hmm.
Right, okay. So you like the 100,000 and the 1 million table? I'm pretty much
Uh-huh.
with it, but I'm probably at the 1 million table, and I don't like going down because there's more kids down there. Uh,
Oh yeah, yeah. That. Ooh, yeah.
yeah, I
That
know
feels
it can
heavy.
be hard. So do you have a strategy? What is your strategy? So you're at the table, you're at the $1 million table. What is your strategy?
Um, it really depends. It depends on my mood. It depends on if people are talking at the table. It depends on things like that. I'm a big I like to read people and having our avatars and things like that. How many times are they checking their cards? How many times are so I look for those little almost like social ticks or social cues. Sometimes once I kind of get a feel for the table, I'm either going to kind of play a little bit tighter, more conservative, or I might just be a kind of a chip bully and know that, it's listening to those conversations. I've heard people coming to a table and go, oh, I only have, this is all the money I have.
Yeah,
So I know that I can put them all in. I know that I can be a more aggressive player
yeah.
because they might have a hand. I might be bluffing, and but their bankroll is limited. So
Now that's very interesting that you're picking up on body language with an avatar.
mhm.
Very interesting because that has went now a stage further because we've got the Quest Pro out now and body language. We can see their eyes. We can see them smiling. Have you seen any players yet playing with
I
the Pro?
have. I played with somebody yesterday, I think it was,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
and they were crossing their eyes. They were, doing all these facial, and I'm like, this is so cool. But I heard
Yeah.
it's like $1,500 or something,
Yeah.
and
It's
so
expensive.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean I know it's new and everything like that, but it was a really cool feature. Because
Yeah.
then
But
you really getting those social cues.
did you see their eyes? They look as if they've just been on a methadone dose. They look stoned. And then the eyes go kind of half closed, and they're just
Yeah,
sitting there. It's fascinating, but certainly that if that's the future, then it's going to pick up our body language definitely.
yeah.
Right, we have a guest, not coming in, but I've got a guest question. This is Cindy, one of the original uh, creators of the round table, and Cindy wants to ask. I have a question. How do you handle people that are out to get you because you beat them?
So maybe about a month, maybe 2 months ago, I was playing in a room, and this gentleman enters the room, and he said, "You took $1 million or 100, whatever the amount of money was back in January. I've been trying to get in here to play with you. I want
Oh,
to get my money back, things like that." And bring it.
yeah, yeah,
Let's go.
yeah,
I'll
definitely.
gladly take your money again.
Yeah.
And you have those players, you know what I mean, that kind of come in and a little bit arrogant, a little bit cocky,
Mhm.
things like that. I just kind of, I'm a pretty confident player, because I've been playing for so long, and things, again, things like that, hey, bring it on. I'm
Yeah.
ready for it.
Yeah, I'm the same because if I was to answer that question, how would I handle people out to get me because I beat them? Well, I'm saying, well, more of the same. If they're out to get me, then I'm going to beat them again. Take more
Exactly.
chips
I'll
off from
continue
you.
to take all those chips. You rebuying? I'll take them again. You rebuying?
Yeah.
I'll take them again.
There we go. Adventure sports guy, how are you doing? He says $1,500 to give away some tails. So here,
I'll
so
send you my Zelle. No, I'm just kidding.
yeah, yeah. No, he's talking about the Quest Pro. So you spend $1,500, you're going to give away all your chips because of the eyes rolling and stuff.
Yep, 100%.
Oh, oh, that was the game I met Antishia. What one's that? He's talking about
No.
$1,500. The game. I don't know. I'm
Oh,
lost.
okay. Well, hey, Adventure. Nice to see you again.
Right. So here we go. We're kind of halfway there, nearly. Your biggest, your now, when we talk in the round table about playing poker, we talk about a session. A session could last an hour. It could last 30 minutes, or it could last 3 hours. My record has been on 10 hours constant. That was a session for me.
Mm.
So in a session of you playing on VR, what has been your biggest win?
Well, the biggest hand I ever won, I think it was 6.8 million, 6.4 million, something like
Okay.
that. And that was just one single hand. I would say in a session, probably about 20 million.
Wow, that's good.
Um,
That's good.
yeah, yeah. So, I mean, that was, it was a run that I was on,
Hmm.
and just it happened, to go that way. There's times where, I'll lose, if I'm playing at a lower, like $100,000 table,
Yeah,
I'll lose a million like that. You know what I
yeah,
mean? So,
yeah.
it's a very much of an up and down kind of a thing.
Yeah, but
And
still 20 million. And here's a fascinating thing. I know it's only a game. The chips are can't they're not worth money. Well, they are, but they're not. Um, how is your mental health when you've won 20 million after a session? How do you feel when you come off the VR and you go and speak to your lovely daughters? Are you floating?
I'm on cloud nine. I'm calling my
Yeah.
friends. I'm, anything like that. And I'm like, hey, guess what I just did? Um, you know.
Yeah.
So
I'm the
I
same.
mean,
Yeah.
100%. I mean, I'm on cloud nine. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And
Yeah. Even
but
even
yeah,
if you
one
win
of
a
those
million.
like
Yeah.
shots.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. You come off the table and say, wow, where's the party? I've just won 5 million chips. We're going to party.
Well,
But
usually if you're looking for the party, come to one of my tables. We're doing drinking games, on and on and on,
ah,
things like that.
very good.
But yeah,
Very
I
good.
mean, to me, again, social aspect, having a good time, having a drink, hang with friends.
Right.
So,
And good.
but it's
Because
harder
because
when you're playing with friends to build your bankroll, because then
of
you always
course.
go, oh, well, I don't want to take money from my friends. I feel bad, this and that. Um, but yeah, I
Ah,
if I want to build my bankroll, I can't play with my friends as much as
oh,
I
I
want
can.
to.
I can. Tisha, there's no friends in poker. Adventure sports guy. He was talking about. He was at the table about the guy that came to you about wanting his money back. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
see, yeah, literally, this guy was like, "Oh, I played with you months ago," and I'm like, "Really? Have you really been looking for me this whole time? Like, that's so odd to me." But hey, whatever floats your boat.
Yeah, but once again, let me reiterate, you can, and we do have friends. We have people that we like to play with quite often. Uh,
Hmm.
but at a poker table, Antisha, no sentiments. Take their chips. Take their chips. Don't.
Oh
No,
yeah,
no,
hundred
no.
percent.
Yeah. Don't think you don't like taking chips off your best friends. No, no. I've got a best friend that I play with every day on here, and I'll gladly empty his bankroll.
I completely agree.
Yeah, and Jamie just said, "Don't let her lie. She takes my money all the time." Yeah, well said, Jamie. She's lying. Imagine lying on the round table, lying about a poker game.
I'm a good bluffer. What can I say?
Yeah, yeah, good. Right. So we've talked about the biggest win in the session and how you're floating in cloud nine, and the
Hmm.
kids are all happy. You're going out. You're going out for dinner because you've won fake chips. But
Right.
let's turn it over. In a session, what has been your biggest loss?
Let's see. I would say somewhere between like 7 and 9 million
Hmm,
during
that's a sore
one,
one.
between
Right.
one night of poker.
Yeah, yeah. So
Um, yeah.
so you lose 7 million, you come off the table. How's your mental health?
Shots? Beer? Because I
Yeah,
need something to kind of get through that. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
So you kind of drown your sorrows, but it does. When I say mental health, I'm talking about your mood. Your mood does go down, doesn't it? It
Oh
certainly
yeah,
does for
hundred
me.
percent. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And it's just, we all have those days. We're gonna have those days of whether it's the seat you're sitting in. We always talk about, oh, you got the hot seat. Somebody who's
yeah,
just any two cards, any two cards, any two cards.
yeah,
And then there's times where you're at a table and you're not getting anything.
yeah.
So,
And you know, Antisha, there's a word that predominantly the VR poker side the players use over there, and I detest the words. The word is called algorithm. Right?
yeah.
They they keep saying, the algorithm's fixed for that seat, it's algorithm for that player. I don't believe that at all. I don't believe it. I think the cards come out as fair as they can. I don't think there's anything premeditated. There's nothing planned. It is totally random. Now,
I
dur-
yeah.
during lockdown, this game saved a lot of people
Mhm.
from going mental. And what happens at lockdown? People didn't play live cards, so it was only about 6 weeks ago. I met a friend in here from VR Poker. I met him in London, and we were in London, and we went into a casino, and it caught my eye. There was a whole floor called the Poker Stars floor. So
Wow.
it was a Poker Stars room, and we played in it. We played at the same table, and do you know what, Antisha? It was my first live game in 3 years. The cards
Mhm.
came out the same way as they would online on VR. There was no
Mhm.
difference, no difference at all. Uh,
Yeah.
Freddie wants to know what's up, Antisha.
What's up, Freddie?
Now,
That's one.
and
He's one of my like really good friends.
yeah, yeah, but you know that's another American thing because the Americans come to the table and they say, "What's up, Shuggy?" I'm
Mhm.
saying, "Well, the tree's up, the sky's up." I,
Sky.
I,
There's
I
a
I
couple
don't know
birds.
how I don't know how to answer that question. What's up?
The sky.
Yeah,
The
what's up?
ceiling. A ceiling fan. I don't know.
So I'm learning. I'm learning. Annabelle says you're doing every good. No, she's doing very good. You get your spelling
Yeah.
right, girl. Okay. In fact, she's corrected herself. You're doing so good. Yeah, you're doing very well.
And that's
Right.
like I said. That's my daughter. So she's.
Good, 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 good. Well, I'm glad the girls are watching you. Right.
Mhm.
Now, this next question is sponsored. It's not a question, all right? I've just got
Okay.
to say three words and you've just to reply to any way you want. It could mean
Okay.
anything, okay?
Okay.
And and it's sponsored by Revenant, who is one of the high rollers on VR poker. I haven't seen
Okay.
him for months and months. And every time I ask this question, he says he'll give me 1 million chips.
Oh.
But it's not a question. I just want to see your reaction. It could be talking about driving, poker, anything. I'm going to see three words and then I want to hear what you've got to say about it. You might
Okay.
even take the Fifth Amendment. The three words are the weirdest place.
Annabelle, turn off the camera. No.
Ah!
um, I go many different directions with that. Usually I'm in one direction. Um, but the weirdest.
It could mean it could mean the weirdest place to play poker. It could, do you know?
Right, because that's
I see.
exactly what
I'm
I was
giving you
thinking when you
ideas
asked
here
that
how
question.
to
Hundred
answer
percent,
that.
100%. That's exactly where my mind went. What's the weirdest place I've played poker? Of course, yeah. Nothing else would come to mind. The weirdest place. I'm like, how NC-17 can I get? No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. The weirdest place. I'm just terrible. I've got all these visions like streaming through, flooding my mind, and
Yeah,
I'm going,
I
no,
know.
don't say that.
I know.
No, don't say that. Okay, maybe it's that. The weirdest place. Hmm. I don't know. That's interesting.
Do you know
Uh,
do you know what my answer would be? I've never been asked that. Oh, it's not even a question, but I've just to respond to the weirdest place. Mine would be mind your own business.
exactly.
I'm trying to help.
100%.
I'm trying to help you here, Antishia, because the girls are watching.
I know that's why I said, Annabelle, go step away. Maybe you have to use the restroom. Go refill your drink. Step away for a minute because,
Right.
mommy's an adult.
Yeah. Right. Let's move on. Okay. Stupid question anyway, Revan, and that's $1 million you owe me. Right. Moving on. This is one of the hardest questions. And it's split into two. There's two parts to it.
Okay.
It's favorite players. Okay. Now, we know we've got lots of friends in there, and you have to create two tables. I know Poker Stars, it's 8-seater tables. On Poker VR, it's 6-seater tables. So we'll keep it at 6, all right? So
Okay.
you have to create, first of all, a table, Antisha's table, for 6 players. So you need to give me 5 names to sit at your table for a social experience. And then you have to
Okay.
give me 5 names to sit at a table for a gaming experience, as in the competition, as in I want your chips.
Mm, okay.
Okay. So give me 5 names that you'd like at your table for the ultimate social experience.
So my social game, and I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings because everyone's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, you didn't name me.
Yeah.
How come? I thought we
Understand.
were friends." Blah blah.
Mhm.
I mean, first and foremost, one of my closest friends was actually said hello. His name is Fast Freddy G. Him and I play together all the time. He's definitely
What,
at my table.
what's his name? Say it
I would
again. What's his name?
Fast Freddy G.
Okay. Fast
He's
Freddy.
on
Okay.
there. My friend Gloriosity, we call him G. He
Okay.
would be at the table. My friend Kelly, it's Kelly032. She would also
Okay.
be at the table.
Okay.
Um,
Two
Another
more.
great friend of mine, Napkins, really great friend.
Did you say
And
napkins?
Napkins, yeah,
Okay.
random. I don't ask. Don't
Okay.
ask. Um,
One more. Mhm.
and oh, probably my friend Thunder Nuts. He's a
Who?
really his name is Thunder Nuts.
Oh, Thunder Nuts. Okay.
Thunder Nuts. Nuts.
Okay. Because
Nuts.
we know a Thunder Buster, so it's Thunder
Oh,
Nuts. Okay.
yeah.
Right.
So yeah,
So
those would be my five for a social.
okay.
And I think I picked that just because, I have a lot of different like friend groups or,
Yeah.
people that I play with, things like that. And
Mhm.
so it's just kind of meshing all of those personalities together.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Okay. Um, Sammy says jelly
Jelly
beans.
beans. Oh,
Right. It
Ray. See,
says
I told you I was
I
gonna
know, I
say,
know,
and then
I
Nate,
know,
and then
I
I mean,
know.
there's Ray, there's all these people, King
Yeah.
Declan. I mean, there's so many,
Of
Jamie.
course. It's a hard
I could
question.
go
I
on and on.
understand. Yeah. Right. So you've got your social table, you're having fun. Your friends
Yep.
have stolen your chips because you won't steal their chips. So you've
No way.
decided I'm going to leave tables and I'm going to go for a real competition, competitive session.
Uh huh.
What 5 players would challenge you at the table? 5 challenging players.
Um,
You can do a crossover if some of your friends you think are challenging, and then by all means they could join that table too.
I would say. Sorry, I was reading the comment. Jones is a fun guy.
Yeah.
You're amazing, Chris. Um, I would say there's a gal that plays on there. Her name is Mystic. She's
Mystic. Okay.
I think it's a Mystic Cutie Pie or cute. I just know it's Mystic. That's what I.
Okay. Mystic.
She's a really great player.
Okay. She's at the
I
table.
I'd pick her. I would pick. Uh, Oh, there's another gal. Her name is literally, and when we played together, when we played at that table, there's two players from that table I would play with.
Okay.
Cutie Pie, Cutie Pie,
Yeah.
and Staff Bash. He's the richest player in Poker
Yeah.
Stars.
And you know he's
Um,
very humble. He's very humble.
he's extremely humble, and
Yeah.
I've run into him several times, and just really great guy. I would have never have guessed that,
Uh,
he is that
and,
way.
and Cutie Pie, she originally came from the Oculus Go, and then she went to the Quest side, and then very quickly went to Poker Stars. Cutie
Uh-huh.
Pie's name used for people that are watching from the other side. Cutie Pie was originally called Queen Essential. Queenie, we
Right,
called her
that's right.
Queenie.
Hmm.
Yeah, and she's a lovely girl. She's a big heart, very big
Yeah,
heart. She
she's
looked
really
after
great.
me. She looked after me in Poker Stars, and I'll never forget her for that. So thank you, Queenie, if you are watching. Right, so
Nice.
you've got Mystic, you've got Cutie Pie, you've got Staff Bash, two more players for your competitive table.
Um, J Rock from School Street.
Okay, I've seen his name about. I think I might have played with him. What is
Yeah,
School Street? Is that highlight anything? I'm not sure if that
I have
signifies anything.
no idea.
Right, yeah,
No
okay.
clue.
So J
Um,
Rock's in.
and let me think. I would. Huh. I might play with Gloriosity.
Okay, so
He's
Glorious. Right,
I probably would. He's the one that I would, kind of have at maybe both tables.
yeah,
If it like him and I have played together, like just, gone into a room and things like that, into
yeah,
where I don't really talk a lot. He doesn't really talk a lot, and we really just kind of focus on the
on the
game
cards.
itself.
Yeah, okay.
Um, but he's a very good player. He's a very competitive player, and I enjoy that. So
Good, good. So your two tables, the social. So sorry if she's offended anybody, but Fast Freddy G, Gloriosity, Kelly 032, Napkins, and Thundernuts, you have reached Antishia's social table. For the competitive table, guys and girls, she wants your chips, Mystic, Cutie Pie, Staff Pash, G Rock from School Street, and Gloriosity. You made two tables, so there's something going on there, I think.
I think I want to make like my own tournament, and that way I can incorporate all of my
Yeah,
friends. I need it. Like,
yeah,
who do I talk to at Poker Stars for making that happen? You know what I mean?
yeah.
Just having an invite, like almost like an invite only, or something like that. I think that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, yeah. But then again, sometimes I think these private tables is I find sometimes it can be kind of bullying and not so much bullying, but people can't get on a game because it's all friends, and sometimes you lose the social aspect of
Hmm.
inviting different circles of players in. So I quite like it the way it is.
Yeah.
Although there's not many locked tables in Poker Stars, which is a good
Hmm.
thing. I don't see many tables that are private, and I like
Yeah,
that.
I usually don't play at private tables because
Yeah,
again, I want to take people's money who I don't know.
yeah, that's
Because
it.
why not?
It's fresh meat. We call it fresh
Yeah.
meat coming
Oh,
in. Yeah,
100%. I'm looking
yeah,
for that. Like, come on, sucker. Come on. Come here.
yeah.
I'll take
Right,
your money.
here we go. Let's move on. This is a hard question too. Is there any players you don't like?
Where do I begin? No, I'm just kidding. Uh, now, like in general, do you want me to name a name? Like,
It's up to you. It's entirely up to you. Would you like to call out any player you think I don't like you because you do this or you play that way or you're rude or you say something bad? I don't know. Is there any players you don't
mm,
like?
it's so tempting. It's so like, oh, bad girl. I would say I'm gonna go general first, and then I'm only because I'm delaying the inevitable of
Mhm.
throwing somebody under the bus.
That's it's a
I would say general wise, I don't like to play with kids only because it is an adult game. I tend to swear a lot. I have a very don't answer that one. Haha, I'm gonna answer it anyways. But I don't really like, and if there is a kid in the room, number one, I always say I'm not gonna censor myself.
yeah,
And but it's when they, because Poker Stars has these props and these toys and these swords and guns
yeah,
and da 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 da.
yeah.
It's when those kids come into the room and they're being inappropriate and they're just throwing all these props around and they're doing that.
Mm.
And that for me is just like, okay, bye. I'm just gonna go either join another table, create a new table, something like that. Really arrogance,
Mhm.
that, whether it's male or female, whomever it is, and then So throwing people out, okay, I guess I'll just do it. It was somebody that I had played with for a long time, and
Okay.
his name is Guru Stunts.
Say that again.
Um, Guru Stunts. I will spell it out for you if you need me
I've
to.
actually, I've
Um,
actually, I've seen him at the table.
yeah. So he is a very good player. He's very aggressive. We don't get along anymore, and
Yeah.
it is what it is. Another one other person I'll mention. I forget. There's like a number after his name, but the guy's name is Pharaoh. He is just a handful. He think oh, I've got so much money on Parker Stars, and I was like, okay, well, how did you acquire that? And it was a matter of, I've got all this money and I'm so rich and I just buy my chips. And I go, okay, well, I've never bought my chips before. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I play, you know what I mean? Like, I earn them. I'm not going to
Yeah.
go into any of that and just buy chips. Where
Yeah.
he's sat at a table and told, people before that, oh, I spent $15,000 last month. And I'm going, you know what I could
Yeah.
do with $15,000? It
Yeah.
wouldn't be
Yeah.
buying chips on Poker Stars.
Yeah.
You
But
know what I
listen,
mean?
it's bullshit. It's bullshit,
Yeah.
Antishia. It's bullshit.
And
It,
just very arrogant guy, you know what I
yeah.
mean? And
Yeah.
I'm a very dominant personality. I'm a very independent, strong,
Yeah.
kind of
No,
a female. And
we
it's
get
like,
that.
don't bully me around.
Yeah, we get that, Antishia, and you're quite right. Stand up for yourself. Um, what we think here on the round table, that the group that we have is a nice group. It's if there's any misbehaving or anything inappropriate said on the Facebook group, then they're out. So it's a good platform to tell
Mhm.
people that you don't like and why you don't like them, because then it lets us all look out for each other and say, well,
Yeah,
here's that guy coming to the table that Tisha spoke about. I'm going to sit back and listen to see if it's what my perspective is on it. And I
100%.
think I agree with you on one of them, that I think I sensed there was a bit of arrogance and a bit of uh, cheek, as if he was
Hmm.
looking down on down on us because we didn't spend $15,000 on chips. So what?
Yeah.
Uh,
And he really, he keeps poking and poking and poking, and he's that
yeah,
guy where I was playing at a table with a friend of mine, and he makes these little digs. It's almost like passive aggressive, you know
yeah,
what I mean? And it's not good for the game. It's not fun. I want to go there. I want to relax. I'm taking time away from whatever I have going on to
yeah,
just kind of, just chill out and have a good time. And
yeah.
when you have players like that, it's just
Well,
it's
here's
hard.
one for you. Here's one for you, because I'm kind of 6 weeks into Poker Stars. I was on the other side for 4 years, basically.
Mhm.
3 years, sorry. Um, so the short period that I've come into Poker Stars, there's only one player that I dislike for all the
Mm.
ones that I've met, and this only happened 2 nights ago or last night. And I will
Oh,
name him.
really?
I will name him. His
Ooh,
name
I want
was
to know.
Voodoo, something Voodoo.
Oh.
And
Hmm.
this guy, he was a little bit obnoxious, and he was talking to a female. He didn't speak until a female came to the table and started speaking. And she very politely says, "And what do you do?" He says, "Well, I'm a medical I'm a doctor. I'm a family doctor." Okay, so he said he was a family doctor, and I thought, okay, there's a bit of respect there. It's people from all walks of life. He's a doctor, he's a family practitioner. Um,
Hmm.
and then round about 20 minutes after that, he started coming away with all these innuendos.
Hmm.
And I'm thinking, a doctor coming away with these kind of female
Yeah.
innuendos, it didn't wash with
Right.
me. And when he
Yeah.
left the table, other people at the table said, "Thank God he's away. That was horrible." It was a very cold comments. So that's the
Yeah.
only one that I've picked up with. I didn't like the way he was talking to the female. I didn't like that at all.
Right.
It
Yeah.
wasn't funny. I don't know if he was trying to be smart. I think he was trying to be cute. Didn't work for me. So
Right.
I'm throwing him under the bus until I change my mind. So
Drive
Voodoo,
that
whoever
bus
his
and
name is,
do-do-do.
yeah.
Run them over. Yeah.
Right. So there you go. You're not alone. I've thrown somebody under the bus now as well.
All
Right.
right. I feel better now. Okay.
Right. So Who is the best player? Give you a couple of the best player you've ever played against. You cannot get their chips.
Hmm. Um. Oh, there's a gentleman I met a couple weeks ago when I was playing with a friend of mine. I think his name is Time Capsule.
Okay.
He can. He picks up almost like I do on those how you bet, how much you bet, just all these little kind of cues.
Yeah.
And he is a very knowledgeable player. Really, a little bit quiet, but
Okay.
brilliant. You know what I mean? And I would say, and it was just based on his read, on his style of playing,
Yeah.
and
So you
yeah,
just
it
couldn't
was.
read him. You just couldn't find a way to get
I
through him or
couldn't.
get his chips. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Good.
and it
Okay.
was, but the nice thing is, he will share that knowledge with you,
Yeah.
which to me is great. You know what I mean? Because it's only going to build that better poker community.
Of course. Now,
So
the way I see it, the best players you play against, it doesn't have to be the richest because, as I said, the richest players could have won it on blackjack or whatever. Uh,
or they could have bought their
plus,
chips.
yeah, or they could have bought the chips. And the thing is, if they've got a lot of money, a lot of bankroll, a lot behind them, then they play differently. Doesn't mean to say they're a
Right,
good player. They're bullying
right,
you out of hands because they've got chips on their table, so
right.
it doesn't make them a good player. Some of the best players are people that play conservative
Hmm.
because they play
Yep.
the game, they think about everything that's going on, all the different strategies. And I guess you agree that's the best thing about this game. There's so
Hmm.
many different ways to look at the game.
Yeah, 100%. And then one of the things too is if you're playing at a table, you hear a lot of people go, "Oh, well, it's not real money, anyways." And
Nah,
you're right, but at the same time, I play to better myself, to as if it, for the most part, you know what I mean. That these are chips. These are I earned these. You know what I mean. So
of course. Now, when people say that it's fake money, it's not worth anything, well, I'm sorry, but they're wrong because it's time. How much time do we spend on the
right,
game to build our bankroll? So time
right,
is money.
100%.
So they are worth something. They're worth our time. Right, let's
Yep.
move on. You're doing really, really well. Um, Bad points about Poker Stars. Is there anything you don't like about Poker Stars? I think I know the answer to this, but any bad things about the game?
It's very glitchy. We call like you'll be in a hand, and we call it black box,
Yeah,
where you'll be in the middle of a hand, and then you just freeze,
yeah.
and you get kicked out of the table. You get like this kind of black border, things like that.
Hmm.
It was really good. Like the beginning of the year was very bad.
Okay,
They did a bunch of updates, things like that. It got a lot better, where not really anybody was glitching out. And
yeah,
then notice since the craps and all those kind of things that it started black boxing again,
okay.
and that's really frustrating because you know what I mean. You're in the middle of a hand. You've got your however much in the hand, and
Yeah,
you just you
you're out.
time out almost. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? So that I really, really wish that you could pick your seat at a poker table. So when
yeah,
you enter a room, you just go into a seat. Well, like at a, if you're playing in real life at a casino,
yeah.
there's one open seat, but then maybe one or two open up. You're like, oh, hey, I want to jump over there, and you
Of
just
course,
naturally,
yeah.
take
That's
your
a
chips
good
and go
point.
over there.
Well, on
Um,
the on Poker VR and Tisha, the seats are numbered like 1 to 6, 6 seated tables. So
uh-huh,
you all when you come to a table, you always get put at the lowest seat number. So
right,
seat number one's available, you automatically go to that.
right.
Um, so Poker Stars, it seems to me, I've not sussed it out yet, but it seems to
It
be a
is.
bit more random.
No, so if you're at the poker table, your dealer
Yeah,
is here, and then
yeah,
you've got, it goes like that. One, two, three, four, right?
yeah,
So
yeah. But it's
one
not,
is the one to the
it's not
left of the
clockwork.
dealer.
That's right. Yeah, it's
You
not
definitely
clockwork.
no, no, no.
Yeah.
So we've actually figured it out because
Hmm.
if okay, I don't want to sit. There's those two tight seats. It's and you're familiar with the poker stars. There's some of them where you feel like you're like
Of
this, or
course.
you're
Yeah.
literally
Yeah,
on top of the other person, and you're trying
that's
to
right.
readjust and things like that. And so yeah, I mean that's it's hard. And so I wish you could just kind of, okay, I want to move to that seat, and you can't really do that. So
Yeah, Adventure Sports Guy says it's a huge download too. Why did you write that? What's that got to do with it, Sports Guy? I'm only joking. I'm only joking. I'm only
he's
joking.
all fine, Shuggy. No.
Right. So, what would you change about Poker Stars, or
Um,
is there anything you would add to it? Well, you did say
well, I would say, like I said, the pick a seat kind of a
yeah.
thing.
Okay.
Um, what
Is there
else?
anything that's
What else?
on it that you would take off it? Would you change it? Would you say, right, let's get rid of the craps and then just keep it poker, keep it the name Poker
No,
Stars?
I like the craps aspect of it. I play roulette. I play blackjack.
Okay.
I play the slots. I play, kind of all of
Okay.
it. I am a degenerate gambler at heart. No. So I'm like, oh yeah, sure, I know how to play craps. Oh yeah, no, I know how to play, X, Y,
Uh-huh.
Z.
Yeah.
So, but I really enjoy it, and that's
Good.
why I continue to come back
Of
to
course.
Poker
So
Stars.
how often do you play in a week?
It depends. I usually will play once my kids go to bed. So my kids, their bedtime is 9 o'clock, and
Okay.
so I usually will, go on later in the day. And I also find that I go on later because there's not as many kids online.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those kind of a
So
thing.
is this daily? Is it every day, or is it once a week, twice a
I
week,
would
or
say, I mean, there's sometimes where I'll get on maybe 4 or 5 times a week.
okay?
And then
Okay.
there's a time where it's like, you know what? I've got so much going on. I'm traveling.
Yeah.
I'm out of town.
Yeah.
That I'm only on maybe once a week.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
usually, if I'm more of a late night person.
Clear. Yeah.
So
Okay.
I'm usually
Um,
like, oh, let's pull an all nighter and play some poker.
yeah. Sports guys just explaining. Yeah, if there's a bug, then once again there's another update to clear the bugs. We're always updating. I think that's what he's trying to get across. I got you,
Yeah.
sports guy. I got you. I got you. Right. Okay. Have you given yourself a challenge in Poker Stars, your own personal challenge? Because in Poker VR, the challenge was to get your trophy. Your trophy is your level. When you get to a
Uh
level,
huh.
you get a trophy. But in Poker Stars, what is your challenge?
I would say there's a couple actually, only because I'm always challenging myself, whether it's in real life or playing poker or
Okay.
something like that. It would be the $100 million club. I'm not a member of that yet,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
100% I want to get there.
Yeah.
I have made it to final tables before for tournaments, but I've
Okay.
never won a big tournament before. The
Okay.
closest I got, I think, was fourth.
Okay. Very good.
And I usually do when I'm doing tournaments. I'm a pretty decent tournament player.
Yeah.
So it's frustrating when you're just on that cusp of it. So I would say, winning a tournament, like we have the sit and goes and things, with all that. I've won that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And oh, I kind of have stopped after a while, but they give you these rings when you
Okay.
they have these weekly leaderboards on Poker
Yes.
Stars for
Okay.
each of the different tiers of tables.
Yeah.
And oddly enough, everybody, was like, you don't have a ring. And I said, I don't. I actually don't have a ring.
Yeah.
And so that's, hashtag goals. I mean,
Okay. So
100%.
that's a
I
goal.
love,
So you get a ring if you win the leaderboard for that table. Basically, I did know that. Yeah,
yep,
that's
yeah.
interesting. Okay.
Yep.
So
And then
that
if you win it more than once, then
yeah.
they add lines onto the rings.
Very good. Very good.
Now,
Very
same
good.
thing with whether it's slots, craps, roulette, blackjack. They all have, whether it's a watch, whether it's a ring, whether it's, any of those
Yeah.
kind of things.
Good
So,
stuff. Good. Right. So
yeah.
the next bit is tournaments, and you've touched on it that you have played the tournaments and you've came fourth. So uh, I've not played one tournament yet in Poker Stars. I don't like tournaments, and the reason I don't like them is because they're not social. They're too serious. You don't get a social aspect
Mm.
in tournaments. So I really don't play them. I haven't played one. You play tournaments. So how often do you play? What tournaments do you play? Do you like them?
I usually, so Poker Stars this year did something. They did like a Poker Stars, like world tour.
Yeah.
And so within Poker Stars, you have different rooms. You have Monte Carlo, you have Saloon, you have
Yeah.
Cyber, you have Space Station.
Yeah.
And so what they did was they had tournaments, where it was like a high rollers tournament. They had like $10,000 tournaments. They had $1 million tournaments. They had like main events, a mini main event, things like that. And so, yeah, I mean, those were. I usually would play in those ones,
Yeah.
and it was fun. And then other than that, I'll join a tournament every now and then.
Yeah.
But I'm a cash player, but
Yeah. Me
I,
too.
I do really well in tournaments. But I do
Yeah.
agree with you where you're jumping around so much at these tournament tables.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And I'll enter a room, play a hand, and then boom, I'm kicked to another table, and it's like, well, that's frustrating.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, let's move on. We're nearly done now. Uh,
Yeah.
is there any players that used to play that no longer play that you could name that you can think of, or
Um, I was looking on my friends list the other
yeah,
day, you know what I mean?
yeah,
And there was a friend of mine early on, his name was Matt, like 207, something like that. I haven't seen him. He was a great player. We played like at the beginning of the year.
yeah,
Really social, really fun. But
yeah,
I haven't seen him in a long, long time.
yeah? I think
Um,
I know what happened to him.
oh,
Yeah, his his kids took their headset back.
wow. Yeah, I mean, could be. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I haven't seen him. Yeah, not too many. I mean,
Yeah,
sometimes you have people who are. I mean, because it's international, you have people that just play at different times,
of course.
or like I said, life. Life happens.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Okay, couple more questions. And this one doesn't really apply much to. Well, it does apply in the poker VR game. There's no subscription. In Poker Stars, they introduced the club, and now within the last 4 weeks, they've introduced another tier of the club.
Mhm.
Um, do you subscribe to the club? Would you subscribe? Do you think it's a good idea? Where are you?
I do subscribe to the club. There's the club, and then like you're saying, the last maybe 4 weeks ago they did the club plus.
Yeah.
I do just the regular club,
Hmm.
and I started doing it as soon as I kind of got on. I do like the there are certain props. So every month, very first day of the month, you get like this prize box, your club
Yeah.
box,
Yeah.
and it'll have usually like an entrance exit. So like when you enter
Yeah.
a Poker Stars table, you have this entrance or
Yeah.
whatever is going on. Usually like either sunglasses or a hat or something like that you can wear. Usually like a prop, whether it's like a duck or a paper airplane or a
Yeah.
wand. The wand was a huge one. That was a big one
Yeah.
that a lot of people liked. And
And you
then
get
there's months
chips. You
where
get chips as well, don't you? You
I think
get
it's like
chips.
300,000 in chips. I think
Okay.
you get.
Yeah.
But it's one of the things I do like about it is again I like purple. My
Yeah.
name is in purple. I mean that to me that's worth the $10. No, but
Do you
yeah,
like
there's
my
some months.
do you like my purple neon?
Oh yeah, 100%. I dig it, man.
Can you see
So
what it says? No.
I can't. I just see the glow of it.
Right. I'm actually in my kitchen right now. It says this kitchen is for dancing. That's what it says.
Oh,
This
I could
kitchen is
show you. I have one in my same kind of a thing in my
right.
kitchen here. Yeah,
Okay.
because I'm a big like if I'm cooking dinner, I've got a glass
Yeah.
of wine, I've got some music playing, and I'm just
Boogie. Boogie down with the stakes. Okay,
yeah,
good. So, so you, I'm a member of the club, but I'm not doing the club plus. I don't see the value
yeah,
in that.
yeah. Hmm.
So
I
I'll
agree.
just stick to the club. I'm not
Yeah,
too interested in the props, but like you, I feel as if etiquette, a bit of etiquette. I think the developers of Poker Stars work really hard. They're not lazy, and they deserve. I don't think I'm ever going to buy any more chips. So I hope I'm not have to. So I think for me to get enjoyment out of the game, then Poker Stars because they work hard on the app. I think they should get something from these high roller players, and I've watched it, and I would say at table, even the highest rollers with the millions and billions in their bankroll, they're members of the club. They're paying the game money to play, and I think that's fair.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
I think they deserve it. So I've not got a problem paying, what is it, $10 a
It
month
takes
or
like
something?
9.99 a month. Yeah.
Yeah, I've not got a
Totally,
problem.
I do it. I support
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
I play it all the time. You know what I mean? So it's worth
yeah,
it to me.
of course. Right. Um, Second last question, Antisha. Have you ever met any VR players in real life?
Yes.
Okay.
I mentioned him earlier, Fast Freddy G, good friend of mine,
Hmm.
and yeah, he lives in California, but he's down in Southern California,
Okay.
and yeah,
And how was that experience? Because you play with somebody online with an avatar, and then all of a sudden you arrange a meeting, you meet each other in real life. How did that feel for you? Because that's happened to me a few times. How was your experience? How did it feel?
it was fun. It was, you know what I mean? Because it's funny. We're uh, like literally like sitting on the couch. I've got my headset and I'm playing, and he's right there and he's playing, and it's
Yeah,
like, okay, that's random.
yeah,
But it's cool. It's fun. You know what I mean? And I
yeah,
enjoyed it.
yeah,
But yeah, it was,
yeah.
he's
Because
really great friend. We built a great friendship.
yeah, I've met one, two, I've met three players in real life,
Mm,
from VR, and obviously I'm in Scotland. I've met one guy who stays about 10 miles away from me.
mm.
Had a night out with him. He came to my club and he messed about with the. He likes disco lights, so he messed about with the lighting and stuff. This was during lockdown. We opened the club just for me and his family to have a night in a closed nightclub.
Can I get an invite? Hello?
Yeah,
No.
yeah. And then I met my dearest friend on Poker VR. You've probably seen him. He's Bravo Tango. He's from Guatemala.
Oh, okay.
Right, he's from Guatemala. But when I met him on Poker VR, he was stranded in Texas during lockdown, and his visitor's visa ran out, so he had to get out the country, and he
Wow.
was moving with his family. And I suggested, why don't you go to Turkey? And he took up my suggestion, and he moved to Turkey, and he's been there for 2 years. He's got residency or citizen residency in Turkey. Him,
Wow.
his wife, and two kids are staying in Turkey. So I met him in Turkey
Mhm.
uh, this year with a guy
Oh,
from
okay.
Israel. With a guy from Israel, he flew to
Wow.
Turkey as well. So three of us played real live poker in the hotel in Turkey. And then
Nice.
about 7 weeks ago, Bravo Tango came to London, and I
Oh,
met him in London. And then from London, he jumped on a plane with his family and came up to my place in Glasgow. So we spent a
nice.
week there. And then I'm just back from Turkey. Last week I was in Turkey and we met him
Hmm.
again. So yeah. And the first time we met in Turkey, I felt as if I'd known him for 100 years
Hmm.
because we played right through lockdown. I know
Hmm.
everything about him, and it was like,
Hmm.
wow, this is surreal.
Yeah.
I've been speaking to an avatar, and now I see you, but you feel like my brother. It just felt like brothers. It was really cool. Weird.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And we've talked about just recently, myself and Fast Freddy G, and we were playing with another friend of ours, and we had said, you know what, we should like rent like a big Airbnb kind of a house,
Yeah.
and kind of put it out to our close friends that we have, and say, hey, look, in this month, a couple months from now, 4 or 5 months, 3 months,
Yeah.
whatever the time frame is, and say, we want everybody to meet up and do, just kind of have a good time, and do something like that.
Yeah.
And
Well,
so it's something we've talked about.
2 years ago on the round table, we were very close to organizing a cruise for
Oh,
the round
fun.
table. So we were actually looking for somebody from America to take up the booking and all that because I'm from Europe and the Americans get better deals. We were saying, right, let's
Mm,
pick a month, let's pick a year. So if it's 2024, February 2024, we're going to do a 7-day cruise leaving from Miami, going to the
mhm,
Caribbean. Everyone's welcome. Do your own thing on the cruise. But every night at 8 o'clock in this lounge, we're all going to play poker.
Let's do it. Sign me up. Let's go, Shuggy.
Yeah.
Come on. Let's
So
go.
I just think that would be amazing. So the round,
100%.
yeah, the round table, we're going to up the ante of it. We're going to spread the word into share around the tables that the round
Awesome.
table is here and get the good people on it. Spread the word. And who knows, we might have a little committee and say, right, let's organize a cruise for VR poker players. How cool would that
Totally.
be? Yeah.
I,
And you
I
can
would
bring,
totally do it.
yeah, and you can bring your family. You know what I mean? It's family
Well,
friendly because get the girls, bring the girls. Girls, mum's only joking. I don't care.
the girls are gonna go to grandma's for the
Ah,
week,
right,
and
okay.
mommy's when what is it when the cat's away, the mice will play. No.
Right. Okay. Um, last question. The craziest thing you've ever seen or done on VR poker? Can you think of any silly things that you used to do or you do while playing the game? We've done loads over the years. What?
I mean, again, how NC-17 can I get? No, I'm just kidding. Because I've seen some crazy stuff.
Right.
I mean, I've seen, yeah, I mean, let's see, craziest thing I've
In
seen.
Poker Stars, you see some crazy outfits, and you've got cows smoking pipes
Oh
and
my
all that
goodness, you
rubbish.
have
There's
like
lots of that
the
rubbish. But
chairs,
I,
these,
I know,
yeah.
have you seen any players, any tricks, any pranks, or any? I mean,
Oh, okay.
on the other side, we had people falling asleep at the table. That happened to me. Fell
Oh,
asleep,
I've
and
seen people pass out just
yeah,
snoring, just
yeah,
at the table, and you're like, you're drunk. Can you maybe go log off? You're taking up a seat. I've seen that kind of stuff. I was playing with a friend of mine. His name's TNT, and then he has
mhm,
numbers after his name. I forget. And he
yeah,
wanted to do this game where it's like a freeze game. So we would all talk about it before the like a new player came in,
yeah,
and so a new player would enter, and his cue to all of us would be, "Oh, where are you from?"
yeah,
And so when that would happen, everybody would just kind of freeze,
right,
and we wouldn't blink. I mean, we would just not move, and it's
yeah,
hilarious to see the reaction on some of
yeah,
these players
yeah,
because
yeah.
they're like, hello, hello, what's going on? And we're just playing up to it.
Yeah, well,
I would
we call
say,
that game last man in. That's what that's called.
yeah.
And there's all sorts of different scenarios. The latest one we've done on Poker Stars is Poker Ballet.
Oh,
Yeah, so the last man comes in and it's predetermined. When they come in, everyone starts calling and folding, but it's animated moves. It's ballet, and
nice,
everyone's doing it. So
nice.
there was this one guy Antishia at the table who didn't speak, didn't comment that he was going to do it. And then when this new player came in, all of a sudden he stood up and done a pirouette and spun round and round. It was hilarious. So yeah, pranks is great. That's the social side
Yeah,
coming out.
I would say that we do with a group of friends. We play like a dice game. So it's pretty much a drinking game.
Okay,
We play a game called Seven Deuce, where if you win a hand with Seven Deuce, you have to buy a prop for that person, a
okay,
non-consumable item.
right,
And so we'll do that. And then for me, okay, Annabelle, turn off your camera. There is a question that I ask if I'm hosting a table,
yeah,
and a lot of players that I've played with that I'm hosting a table, I have a very specific question that I ask.
okay. I'm interested.
Um, so quickly, it would be, "Hey, how are you doing?" Because everyone said you can't just jump into the question. I have to kind of give a quick introduction. So I pull out my
Okay,
mic and I say, "Oh, hey, how are you today? Oh, we're good. Oh, great. Where are you from? Oh, I'm from XYZ." My next question, it's a little, adult
uh-huh.
appropriate.
Okay,
Do you eat ass?
okay.
And then we go from there, and there's a series of questions and everything. And it's kind of fun, but it's, a lot of people either are really thrown off by it.
Yeah,
You have people that are really, that play along with it.
Yeah.
And you kind of, whenever I ask that, because it's such a blunt question, it's a
Yeah.
very personal question to ask.
Yeah.
And it's just a matter of, it's got to be the right person. It's got to be the right
Of
people. You
course,
know what I
and
mean?
that's I. You don't realize that 45 minutes ago, I got you the weirdest place. It's that's it.
There you go. Where's the weirdest place you've been asked? What? Oh.
And Tisha,
So, but yeah,
you have been a star in the
awesome.
bar, and one of the first poker stars interviewees, and hopefully there's many more. And it sounds as if
Awesome.
you've got a good group of friends. I would like you to invite them onto the round table and join our group, and let's get this bigger and bigger and bigger. And there's Arnold. That's Newton. I don't know if you met Newton. He's from Switzerland, but he's
No,
German.
I haven't.
And
Hi, Arnold. Thank
yeah,
you.
and he bought me a microphone because he was doing this interview. So he bought me the prop today, the microphone, which I love.
Oh, yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, Christopher saying love hearts for you, and person pulls out the donkey and puts it in their mouth, and
Yep,
Christopher's
that's
friends.
Steve-Bala. What's up, Steve-Bala?
Yeah, yeah. So it's been a pleasure, and thank you for taking the time out of your day to join us here on the round table. You were a star.
100%. And the only thing I'm going to say now is if anybody's drinking, I saved
Yeah.
my shot. Cheers. Cheers. Everybody
Cheers.
knows I'm usually drinking a little bit of tequila at the table. So cheers.
Bottoms up.
Mm.
Well done. And I
Awesome.
know, and we'll see you around the tables. And as Shuggy always says, give me your chips. Give me your
Exactly. And
chips.
I'll be on later tonight. So
Okay.
definitely, hey, if you see me on, come
Yeah.
out, say
And
hello. And
they'll all be talking about you now. The word
right.
spreads. You're going to
Oh my
be an
God.
internet
Did you see
sensation.
Antisha? She was on Shuggy's thing. Oh my God. And I'm like, yeah, I know.
Cheers. Okay. See you later, darling. All right. All the very best.
Pleasure.
See
Thank
you.
you, everybody. I enjoyed it. Have a beautiful day.
Thank you. Bye bye. Bye. There you go. Isn't she not a character? What a lovely, lovely girl. That's Antishia, and the daughters tuning in as well. Mum is a star of the internet and a star of the round table. And that's it from me. Okay. Please keep active on the page, keep watching on the page. And if anyone's not been interviewed yet, the diary's open. Ask the moderators if you can be interviewed. Message me and we'll get you on for the 22 questions, the exact same 22 questions. It usually only lasts just under an hour, 1 hour and 17 minutes. And Tisha's a talker and she's a good girl. On behalf of me and everybody else at the round table, enjoy your day and I'll see you at the tables and give me your